Hello and welcome to Southside News Today for Tuesday, March 23rd. I'm Chuck Bitterman. Southside News Today is brought to you by Shanks Associates, engineers, surveyors, and planners, the Chatham Star Tribune, and by Guns, Gear, and Ammo, Route 58 Cascade. Well, the city has their money now from selling the Pinnacles hydroelectric project. Now they want to spend it. Utility Director Jason Gray says the money will still be used to upgrade Danville's electric infrastructure, but this will move the timeline up a lot.
We can start on upgrades to our South Side and Westover substations this fall. Probably likely completion time sometime in the winter. But the proceeds could be used to complete those projects ahead of what the budget forecast was originally anticipated. We were probably looking at doing these projects later into fiscal year 23. We can also use the funding to start the new substation, what we're calling the Blue substation at the Schoolfield complex for the new Caesars project.
The Pinnacles was one of the first publicly owned municipal projects in the U.S. It includes 2 dams, 3,600 acres. It used to provide all of Danville's power. It now accounts for about 2.5% of our needs. Northbrook Energy purchased it for $8.2 million.
To request the Utility Commission's recommendation to City Council to help us accelerate our planning and our upgrade projects so we can go ahead and start working on these projects.
Under the deal, Northbrook will sell the energy capacity and renewable energy credits back to the city. A wolf attacked a worker Saturday afternoon at the same exotic animal center in Caswell County where an intern was mauled to death by a lion more than 2 years ago. It happened at the Conservators Center. A worker was in the wolf enclosure when one of the wolves bit her on the elbows and thigh. She was able to get out of the enclosure, was taken to UNC Hospital in Hillsborough. She is expected to recover. Now, only one wolf was involved in the attack. On their website today, the center released a statement confirming the Sheriff's Department's information, noting that privacy laws prevent them from telling more. They also say the wolf will be quarantined for 10 days, exactly like a dog would be if they bit a human. They also say there was never any danger to the public. You'll recall it was December 2018 when an intern at the center was killed by a lion that got out of its enclosure. Workers tried several times to tranquilize the lion. Deputies eventually had to fire 8 shots to kill the animal. Alex Black died at the scene from blood loss through multiple deep cuts to her neck. Federal regulators say a Danville home health care company shortchanged workers on overtime. U.S. Department of Labor recovered nearly $140,000 in back wages for 58 workers at Prince Home Health Care in Pittsylvania County. The company was fined $30,000 for willful violation of the Fair Labor Standards Act by failing to pay workers overtime when they worked over 40 hours a week. They paid workers straight time rates for the overtime and falsely labeled it as reimbursements. Well, steady numbers today in the latest dashboard report from the State Department of Health on COVID-19. The state's now averaging about 1,000 new cases a day. Locally, only 5 new cases in the last 24 hours in Danville and Pittsylvania County. The local death toll remains 197. Now, the biggest number is the positive test rate. For the first time since last summer, the local rate is below the state average. The report also lists more than 12,300 locals as fully vaccinated. That 26% rate, slightly above the state average of 24%. Danville school leader is ready to pull the trigger on some significant changes to bring local test scores up. 2 years ago, you'll recall, the State Department of Education agreed to conduct a division-level review of the Danville school system to make up for some lagging test scores. New Superintendent Dr. Angela Hairston says the pandemic has not put the pause on this effort.
This sense of urgency has to reside with us every time we are working toward our work, because change is not easy and we have to be child-centered if we want to get there and do the right work.
Hairston notes several recommendations have already been carried out, but some more significant ones are just around the corner.
That they were pleased with the direction that the district is moving in. They were pleased with some of the leadership adjustments. They were pleased with the reorganization of the central office. They were pleased with the focus on the instructional alignment and the efforts and resources that people are putting into a more child-centered school district.
Only 2 Danville schools were accredited in the last report 2 years ago. Testing's been on hold during the COVID-19 pandemic. Let's get to county sports, where the Dan River Wildcats are the only unbeaten team remaining after the second round of games. Pennsylvania County High Schools are playing a round-robin schedule, playing all three other teams, and then scheduling a championship and a runner-up game. The Wildcats this weekend outlasted the Chatham Cavaliers 39-20. Check this out. It included this vicious hit captured by a Chatham Star-Tribune photographer. Yes, a face mask penalty was called on this play. Dan River quarterback Tracy Glass, 11 of 20 passing, 150 yards, 2 touchdowns in the air, 1 on the ground. Dan River undefeated. They'll host Gretna Thursday. Gretna suffered their first loss of the year over the weekend, dropping a 14-0 decision to Tunstall. Let's keep the positive vibes going with today's edition of Live Positive. Here's Dr. Joey Fawcett.
I'm Dr. Joey Fawcett, coaching you to live positive and increase your positivity with greater joy so that you make a life worth living. Is the grass always greener on the other side of the hill to you? Talked with a mother of 2 preschool children recently, and I asked her how it was going. Well, she said, my 2-year-old has a stomach virus and is really pitiful right now. I'm so sorry, I said. I remember what a trying time that can be. And she said, keeping his older sister away from him is part of the challenge. I don't want her to catch it, she said. That's a good idea, I said. All 4 of us had a horrific stomach virus once, and with only 3 bathrooms. Well, she said she wishes she had the stomach virus. I said, what? I tried to tell her she doesn't want it, the mother said, but she says she wants it because then her little brother would have to stay away from her. Yeah, the grass is always greener on the other side of the hill, isn't it? Until you get to the other side of the hill and you discover the reality of life there. Love the life you have. Focus on the positive on your side of the hill and make a life worth living as you live positive today. Coaching you to live positive today, I'm Dr. Joey Fawcett.
Thanks, Dr. Joey, and that is Southside News Today. I'm Chuck Vipperman. Southside News Today brought to you by Guns, Gear, and Ammo, Route 58 Cascade, the Chatham Star-Tribune, and by Shanks Associates, engineers, surveyors, and planners. I'm Chuck Vipperman. Have a great day.